Hello, my doves. I'm popping on here today to help share and provide some energetic support on what is a very powerful and important day in the United States. And even for those of you watching who are not, U.S. citizens who are not being called to vote today, certainly if you're sensitive, if you're empathic, if you are a healer or a light worker of the world, you could very well be feeling the energy around this. It's extremely heightened. And I know from what I've heard from many of you who are U.S. citizens and who are empathic, who are sensitive, and even if you aren't, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety being felt, trepidation, very heightened energy, but also the flip side of that, which is, very empowered, very vocal, very vital, people showing up in all kinds of ways and all kinds of warrior stances in response to today. And so certainly holding space for that, encouraging all of those who can to please vote. And my empaths and the people who feel sensitive and who have been saying or thinking, it's just one vote, I don't know that I can handle going out there. You're not just one vote, you are part of a collective. And when many people start to decide that can become a lot of votes. So it's important that you do what you need to do to take care of yourselves energetically, but also show up, exercise your voice, be part of the web of life, which you are a part of inseparably. We all are in the world, and exercising that right that you do have. So again, just to meet the need that I'm feeling energetically, I wanted to share just some really quick crystal practices. And of course, these can be used at any time. They can be used at any time in life when you're facing challenging times, highly stressful times, very heightened, powerful times. Because of course, again, very positive things can happen during times of heightened energy, especially if that's channeled in a way through action, but also through vision, through intention, through prayer, through energy and physical action in order to make the change and be part of the change that you would like to see in the world as well as in your life, because again, they're inseparable. They're all one. So first and foremost, selenite. Very easy thing to do is to just hold it almost like a teddy bear. Just hold it over your chest like this and breathe in and out deeply. And of course, just the action of breathing can help to dial down any kind of anxiety, stress, fear, shadow interference. There will be a lot of shadow interference, which will kick up resistance, which will kick up denial. As you breathe, you start dropping down through those defenses. And by holding the selenite, it starts working immediately. Its energy. I always feel selenite as being very vaporous, and it just sort of spreads into things and purifies and transmutes as it does. It starts to energetically lift that heaviness, lift those feelings or that energy that might be weighing on you. And especially when you hold it over your chest like this, we're hitting 3 major power centers in terms of chakras. We're hitting the throat, the heart, and also the solar plexus. The solar plexus is our sense of identity. It's our action. It's our will. It's our determination. Our heart, of course, is our feeling selves, our loving radiance, our connection to the world, to the divine, to each other, as well as to our souls. And then the throat is how we express ourselves, our authority, our sovereignty, our desires, the things we're seeking to create or co-create, our feelings, our truth, our boundaries. So these are really, really important power centers. And again, just holding the selenite over these areas helps to lift that energy, but we're also not bringing the selenite energy down too far into the lower chakras, which can then unground us. So holding it right here is very powerful, very strategic, and you can sit with that as long as you need to. Some of you may need to sleep holding a selenite stick like this tonight or over the next few nights. That's something I do whenever I have trouble sleeping, especially if I'm experiencing anxiety, which, you know, as many of you know, if you've been following me for a while, I'm very transparent about having, you know, I've had an anxiety disorder since I was a child. And so, of course, that's a big part of what brought me to working therapeutically with crystals. So that's the first step. The next is we need to ground ourselves. We need to ground ourselves. And so I'm missing a crystal. There it is. Okay, great. So two very, very, very potent sources of stone medicine right now, especially in this energetic space that we are, and in seeking to hold a space of light and of empowered action. Blue lace agate and hematite. The blue lace agate, again, helps us to calm, to soothe, to collect and center the energy of our being. But unlike some other anxiety crystals that I might recommend, you know, at other times, like lithium quartz or other crystals that kind of get us into that nice kind of groovy space, if you will, the blue lace agate still connects very powerfully to the third eye chakra. Now, the third eye chakra, we usually immediately associate that with psychic ability and intuition. The third eye chakra is also the mind, reason, logic, perception, clarity, focus, sense of purpose, learning, remembering. And so we're still staying fully engaged with that energy while calming, soothing, coming back to center. Hematite is the anchor. It drops our energy down into our body. It firmly grounds us to our body, grounds us to the earth. You know, there are other crystals, again, that I could recommend for clearing the stress, like let's say smoky quartz, for instance. But hematite is very, again, active. It's fortifying. It's energizing. It's a stone of conviction and purpose. So holding the blue lace agate in your receptive hand, your non-dominant hand, and then the hematite in your dominant hand, you're working with how most of us are generally energetically wired. So the energy is coming in through our receptive side, which is the blue lace agate, and then as our energy moves down and out, the hematite is helping to fortify and strengthen that action so that we're coming into our power, we're staying grounded, and we're coming out of the mind space where you know, a lot of anxiety and stress can generate, and where the shadow really likes to play and interfere. So again, holding those for as long as you need. You can be standing in line right now, you know, waiting to vote, holding these crystals. And certainly after you come home, this can also be therapeutic. And again, for those of you watching who are not, you know, participating in this in other parts of the world, just even processing the energy that you're feeling and holding space for you know, fellow people, these crystals can be beneficial. Now, for those of you who are, you know, in line, heading out to the lines, I did see in an ACLU post that as long as you are in line, even if the polls are closing, you can still vote. You have that right, so don't leave. Because the lines may be long today. But when you're waiting in line, for any of you who are empathic, who are sensitive, who are, concerned about being able to energetically manage everything that you're feeling, and the thing to point out for people who may not be having that experience, the thing to understand is this is very real. Anxiety being triggered because you're empathically or energetically sensitive, and there's a lot of high emotional energy, which again doesn't have to be negative. It can be extremely positive. Like joy can be overwhelming, gratitude can be overwhelming, love can be overwhelming. We love that kind of overwhelm, but anxiety and stress and feeling overwhelmed and having trouble coping because of energetic stimuli is very real. It's very real. And for those of you who are experiencing it, honor that. Honor your needs, but stay strong. Respond with courage. So these are 3 crystals that I recommend you wear. And again, you guys can be wearing this right now, no matter where you are in the world, for support. But I recommend the Labradorite. Now, Labradorite is a really interesting crystal medicine to be bringing into the mix of today and what's happening today, because Labradorite is a stone of transformation. Alchemical transformation, fire, water. It's very elemental, it's emotional, but it's also active. It's the yin and the yang. So it's really powerful energy to be bringing into this, but also worn over the heart chakra. It's highly, highly, highly protective for the emotional body, for our feelings, for the heart chakra in general. It's like a shield. So wearing Labradorite and then also pairing it with smoky quartz, extremely valuable, keeps you grounded, keeps cycling lower harmful energy or stress energy down and out of the body into the earth to be transmuted. And then if you have a piece, you can also add in tourmaline quartz, which will also continue to cycle, transmute, because the quartz is amplifying and magnifying the energy benefits of black tourmaline, which are protective, but are also purifying, shielding, and neutralizing, and it will help to keep you sharp, focused, and aware. So those are my crystal recommendations. And just finally, to holding space and reminding everyone that we are all in this together. Even those of us who have different viewpoints or going out voting for different people, we're all part, again, of this web of life, of this collective, of great change that is happening in the world. And so wherever you are, those of you who are, going out there and who are being active and creating change in so many wonderful ways in the world, thank you. God bless you. And then for those of you who, are at home, who are watching this, who can't maybe physically participate, please hold space. Please say prayers, and let's all keep walking each other along this path of evolution, of growth, of life, and of service. Thank you.